Hey, what's up guys? John here. Some really big news just came out. Some of the biggest news in the last 6 months. It's that you're gonna possibly need a passport, the new passport to travel domestically, for you to go anywhere inside of America. And you have to ask yourself, is this constitutional? Well, in 1887, there was something called the Commerce Clause, which gave them that authority. And they may actually be able to pull this off. And if this did happen, I ask myself, what would this do to tourism? What would this do to the economy? What would this do to people's mindset, the division in this country? How bad would things get in the event that they move forward on such a thing? And if they did move forward on this, would it be short term or long term? Then at that same time when they dropped this bombshell, a landlord in Florida makes a bold position. He takes a very bold position and says that all tenants, either existing or new, will need to show proof for them to be able to rent an apartment at his building. Now I ask myself, if this is allowed, will commercial landlords jump on board? Blackstone, BlackRock, the big firms, will they jump on board and say, we need all tenants to comply with this simply for insurance reasons or simply for the safety of our other guests? If this is a situation, we could have a real big problem with housing in America. This could really balloon into an issue. And we are stepping into the winter months. When I see, generally in winter months, we have more people that are feeling under the weather. So in the event that this does happen, we could see a real bold move happen really soon. So take a look at what they're saying, and please hit that like button to help share this content to educate new real estate investors and people interested in the economy as to what's really going on behind the scenes that really people aren't talking about. So right here, they're saying the potential of a mandate for domestic air travel would be fiercely opposed by Republicans and the travel industry, and could add to the pushback that Biden has received over his mandate with a 100 employee. He has the new mandate where if you have a business in America with 100 employees, that they all have to either comply or get tested. So many people would say, that alone he couldn't pull that off. That wouldn't be something that would be acceptable. But here we are. Is it going to go from 100 to 50, from 50 to 25? I believe it's going to continue going like this for the foreseeable future. The admin could see a mandate to fly as an issue that might find some support, but it also risk being seen as a government overreach. The flurry of questions was directed at White House officials this week after Fauci expressed his support for the air travel mandate. I would support that if you want to get on a plane or to travel with other people, that you should. The idea isn't off the table. You scroll down here, he says, we think the most effective requirement are the ones where people are kind of in a permanent situation on the job or in the military where they verify one time. Jeff Zients, the White House response coordinator, has said no measures are ruled out. He told reporters last week when asked if the admin would impose this requirement or testing for the domestic flights, we're not taking any measures off the table. I try to take a position that's in the common ground, because I don't like to lean one way or the other, because what happens is that you can't really communicate and have a educated conversation with either side if people think you're here or people think that you're right here. Looking at things from a position of being just fair, I ask myself, what would this do to people's livelihoods, to their businesses? What would be the pros and the cons of such a situation? Now, I personally believe that sure, some people will feel better if there was some type of requirement. Sure. Some people would feel safer. Sure. But you have to take a hard look at what the 6-month, 12-month, and 24-month outlook would be in the event that we went down that road. What would the economy look like? What would people's livelihoods look like? And where would this stop? Would this just continue getting more and more aggressive? And if so, where's the ending? Is there an ending in sight? I really do take a hard look at this, because When I see the way that the world's going, the division that's happening right now in this country, it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. It's really getting bad out there. It really is. And it's going to be a really difficult place, I believe, in the coming 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, if this continues to progress in the direction that it currently is. What's happening right now with this landlord, it's very fascinating to me, because a year ago or 2 years ago, if you told me someone would say this, I would say that's very far-fetched, that's very unlikely. Yet here we are. Now I can see this being something that would be acceptable in places like New York and California, where you need to show proof for you to rent an apartment. And they could possibly, I would not put this past them, evict you for not having shown proof, yet they will not evict you if you don't pay rent. So it's like we're living in some type of a twilight zone where rent is optional and you possibly have to show proof of this. Now, I do believe that California and New York will probably go down this road in the next year or so if problems continue to arise, as they would step in and say that this is for the better of the state and to make a positive example for everyone's safety. This could be something that could really happen. It's really interesting. Breaking, a large Florida landlord announces that he'll be requiring all new and existing tenants to provide proof, saying you don't want to get it, you have to move. And if you don't, we will evict you. If you support the landlords, move. Occupy Democrats was referring to Sun Centennial's story about Santiago Alvarez, a South Florida landlord who is requiring proof for all new leases and renewals. The group's tweet came less than 2 months after they hailed Rep. Cori Bush, Democrat, for camping out at the U.S. Capitol steps to protest the end of the moratorium. The moratorium on evictions ended August 26 after a 6-3 vote by the Supreme Court, putting millions of renters at risk. Critics on both sides of the aisle accused Occupy Democrats of playing politics on the issue. It's fascinating to me, too, that in Florida, of any state, where they are issuing $5,000 fines for businesses asking for proof, yet a landlord's allowed to do this because they can repackage this as a very different offering. They can rather say, you're not entering my business, your habitat, you're living inside of a unit, inside of a structure that I own, putting out my other tenants, putting them in a risky position, and I can't assume that type of liability due to your neglect, is how they're going to position it. It's fascinating. And I ask myself, I really take a hard look at this and I say, will this be true when things get harder? I believe, will they have incentives? Will they get tax credits? Will they get rebates? Will there be some type of financial motive for them to continue progressing this? Because if you're going to imply certain regulations and restrictions on businesses, it might make sense for Biden to partner up with some of these landlords and try to find a solution for everyone's safety, as they would say. What do you think about this? Do you think that this is something that could happen? And what do you think this would do to the overall economy? You think about what tourism is. Tourism, air travel, obviously, hotels, restaurants, everything. Everything that you do when you go travel, you support that local economy. When you restrict that activity, what's very likely to happen? Those economies are going to greatly suffer. But then again, some people may move in advance, simply saying, you know what, I would prefer to live there. Values may fall, property values may fall, and in the event that that does happen due to lack of tourism, I may be able to go out there and get a really good deal on the beach or right around the corner from the beach, and I can work from home. So this could be an opportunity to buy. We could also see a lot of Airbnb investors losing the bookings that they've been so accustomed to, where they would have to panic sell. So a lot of uncertainty ahead. What do you think about all this? Drop your comments below. Smash that like button. Sub here. Consider subbing on my personal channel. I'll leave the link pinned down below in the top comment. See you guys next video. YouTube Success Blueprint. If you've enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into growing your YouTube channel and create passive income as a YouTuber, check out my YouTube Success Blueprint by clicking the link in the description below this video. One of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett, once said, "Opportunities come infrequently. When it rains gold, put out a bucket, not a thimble." I get the feeling that many men and women today are using thimbles instead of buckets. The truth is that we're in a huge wave of opportunity. I'm not suggesting that the current situation hasn't caused any financial damage to people's lives, because it certainly has. You may be one of those who have been fired, transferred, demoted, or had his assets repossessed. When looking up my own channel statistics on Social Blade, you can see that I was able to grow from a mere 11,000 subscribers to 120,000 subscribers in just 15 months. You could do this too, and I want to show you how. My YouTube Success Blueprint is a complete A to Z guide that teaches you the necessary steps in order to get your channel up and running within a few days. YouTube is an explosive avenue where you can earn thousands of dollars based simply on uploading videos and monetizing them for views. Think of a bridge with a toll on it. That is a video that's monetized on YouTube. It also serves a great channel to capture leads and potential new clients. Personally, I'm receiving roughly $30,000 per month in video views through Google AdSense just by people watching my videos on YouTube with 120,000 subscribers. This number is likely only going to grow as more and more people become accustomed to using YouTube. We have roughly 2.3 billion monthly users on YouTube, and I could see that number hit 3 billion in no time. To learn more about growing your YouTube channel and creating passive income as a YouTuber, register for my YouTube Success Blueprint by clicking the link in the description below this video.